Previously with the Liberators.
Is that a shard you got there, Warren?
I think it is.
Can I take a look at it?
You can't touch, but you can look. Look, we found it. We found compassion. So, Rowan brings up from his chaotic journal, there was some information that the guy from the Underdark told us from the book. There was like some sort of prophecy on, though death follows him, when the harpy returns home, all will be made right once again. And below it was, in the 12th and final age, the lands will change and consume, music will stop, families will be broken, Girithkar shall bring forth his champions, and they shall purge magic from the world. I don't see anything about Skald's Forest. There was stuff about Dustfall that I remember, but I can't find it in my archives.
The reason Ickabar is coming, and why he was seen through my eyes, was he's hungry for something he's never had before, and I think through me he discovered the Jinn in our world, even though they were sealed away. But the reason they were sealed away was because of my father, Garrisol. He warned the other gods that Ickabar was coming, and they wouldn't listen, so he sealed the Jinn away himself.
So you're saying Garrisol sealed the Jinn away as an attempt to protect this plane from Ickabar?
In a way, he's prolonging what Ickabar started, which Ickabar wanted to consume his brothers. And if the Jinn are the dust, the pieces left over of his former brother, he's coming to finish what he wanted to do. Which still brings me back to why us trying to liberate the Jinn, what exactly is that doing? Are we helping, or?
All three of you feel very strongly that this cave has a magical presence in it, very, very, very similar to the shards that you are holding. Roran with compassion, Korak with memory, and he leads you into a room where this presence is overwhelming. It feels like static electricity every step you take, and he walks you around a corner. There's bearkin everywhere, and they're all armored to the teeth. And he says, I don't know if you remember what the gods looked like, Korak, but I need you to brace yourself for what you're about to see. He takes you into this room and shows you a structure. What can only be described as a bunch of glowing orbs or gemstones, except they exist in such a way that it boggles your mind just to look at it. Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Should we begin? It's been about 2 weeks since the Shrike Temple held any influence over Rivershroud. You all can stand proudly, knowing you forced a great evil away from the lives of these people. Sympathizers largely seem to snap out of some kind of trance. Reardon and Roran, working together, are able to confirm that some strange sorcery that had been used to take over their minds has been diminished. Other people simply didn't want to cause conflict with a powerful group that could have potentially hurt their families, and therefore allowed the cultists to grab power by doing nothing to stop them. By their own free will, these people have since submitted themselves for judgment among their peers. The whole town seems to just want this to be over. Roran, you weren't a part of the jury that was quickly set up to conduct the trials amongst your countrymen. However, many of those who are part of the panel often look to you for your opinion on how they should carry out their judgment. What do you tell these people?
I'll tell them that they would know better than I who would be entranced, is that a word? And who would be more Shrike cultist sympathizers. And I would say for their own decision-making process that they should probably do the same expulsion of the Shrike cultists. For those that were more in a trance or persuaded by more torturous means, then I would recommend mercy with probably some sort of like parole sentence where they're under observation for a short period of time until they're deemed trustworthy.
I like it. these people take that to heart as you know, whenever they approach you and you tell this to them, it seems as though they do hear you. They hear what you're telling them. And they take it to heart, and they go on to make their judgments in the trials that are occurring over the course of the last couple weeks. On the cusp of your third week in the town, you all begin to feel a sense of unease. Not that something is wrong in the city, but you feel the brokenness of the world beyond. The pieces of God essence that you carry all hum with an expectation. It's like they can feel their proximity to one another. Xanagar, for his part, has waited patiently alongside his Bearkin entourage for your business to come to a close. If there's anything else that you guys want to do before you set sail from Rivershroud, now is the time to do it.
Where's Xanagar?
Xanagar is he's just like, he's around. Like you could find him if you asked around for him. He's waiting, and he's made it very clear he's not going to interfere with what you guys have going on. He knows how important this is to Roran, to make sure Rivershroud is safe. So he's kept his distance, but has been offering the assistance of the Bearkin in his entourage to like help rebuild things or whatever it is.
Is there any way to subtly kind of put in a fund for like a monument so everyone could remember and pay their respects to Roran's brother's sacrifice? Because I think that needs to be almost like a monument or like a little like statue or something like that.
Yeah, so you actually bring up a really interesting point. Other than you guys, nobody has any idea what Rinian did for the city.
Dang.
If need be, I'll put my entire 15 gold to make sure it happens. He is not being forgotten.
They can maybe etch you like a small thing on a marble, like a heart or something, for 15 gold. Here you go. Here's your monument.
Progress.
But no, yeah, that's actually a really good point. How over the last 2 weeks, how have you guys like sort of evangelized that sacrifice? Because if the first people that you go to tell, they hear Rinian's name and they kind of just shut down. They're like, no, there's no way. They don't believe you. It's hard for people.
I'd imagine only my family members would believe that.
Yeah, and even Talara takes it pretty hard at first. Like, she has a hard time kind of wrapping her head around that, whereas Reardon's had a little bit more time to kind of... I mean, he's known you, growing up, and so he knows his sons and has seen kind of the things that Rinian's been dealing with, and maybe has a little bit more of a firm foothold on that particular bit of information. But yeah, Talara was definitely, especially after like being abducted, hard for her to kind of take in.
Right.
Could I, like, through the time that we're here, try to make some kind of like crowd fund or group fund to try to have enough money so it's not just a rock with a heart on it?
I like this idea. So God would help too, if need be, tell the story of what happened there so people know the truth. And I mean, try my best to convince people with just telling the story and telling them get a change of heart and trying to tell a story the right way.
Yeah, teamwork.
Yeah, you guys definitely, like, you can absolutely set up a fund for it. And I think over the first week, it's hard for people to kind of grasp what it is that you're saying about Rinian. But the more that you guys say it, and the consistency with which you've all been telling this story, eventually begins to, like, people start to kind of come around to the idea of it.
Not for us to start our own religion.
Did you say start a religion?
I was thinking making
Hold on.
kind of like almost their like folk hero, or just they should remember his sacrifice and what he did to help.
At least be a Rivian day every year.
Rivian day,
where they party and drink too much.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Blow up a
Medusa
temple, I
would be
guess?
down for that.
Is it like Burning Man, but they blow up a temple at the end?
It is
So
now.
each year they have to build a temple just to burn it down. That's kind of cool.
So yeah, you get a little fund going, and I think Reardon and Talara offer to like kind of keep that going, and begin working with some of the city planners and people in charge of those kinds of things to. Well, first of all, they're going to reappropriate the ground that the Shrike Temple was built upon, turn that maybe into a park or something that that's something that the city needs.
No, cool. He gets a park named after him.
And yeah, there you go.
I feel like it will take a generation for the bad taste of Rinian's name to get out of the village's
very possible.
mouth.
The world must know.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to do while you're here?
I want to unload my backpack because apparently I'm carrying 408 pounds of stuff.
That's a lot.
Wow.
What is the majority of that?
I think it's the gold pieces I never buy anything from.
Are you talking about the total weight of your equipment?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Mine's at 79, so I guess I pack light.
That could be a weapon right there. You could just kill someone with all the gold you're carrying.
I'm definitely not keeping my gold on there.
Let me just kill you with my riches.
Put it all into a sock and just swing it around.
I don't know, go wine drinking or something?
Yeah. Okay. You guys get a nice little tour of the different like breweries, and do they have like Randy? You might know this. Do they have like refineries for alcohol, like for riff wineries, maybe?
Distilleries? Or, is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah, that's probably the word I'm looking for.
So yeah, distilleries turn wine into hard alcohol, or any liquid really into hard alcohol. But
Okay. Yeah. There's.
can we role play some wine tasting?
Wait, so that's how
This one has a
You're
bit
really
of
good at that.
has a bit
That's
of
our
a
use of time right now.
smoky afterbirth.
Did they have a cup big enough for Galley to drink? That'd be kind of
jeez.
funny.
That's like what an alien says when they come to Earth to go wine tasting. I want to go to one of the wine refineries, please.
Wine refinery. Your nearest wine refinery, dear human.
Yeah, so you guys go wine tasting, trying to think that you try different wines. Roran, what's your favorite one?
Let's go for a Sangiovese.
I can't pronounce that, but that sounds good. They have Smash Marzeshi, and that's Roran's favorite, and he's super into it. I think it's safe to say that you guys get, if I may, rip Roran drunk.
At my little the pseudo dragon, a little like cup 2 of wine. Little snake hairs each with their own cups, or like stealing people's drinks.
On one particular night that you guys are out drinking, maybe this is that particular night is what I meant to say. While you're out drinking, Jeff, you have this like sudden pain in your back between like your shoulder blades.
go on.
I mean, it's do you what do you do? Like, what happens?
I drink more alcohol to make the pain go away.
You definitely dull
That's
the
what
pain.
I do too.
And as you continue on through the night, you begin to feel as though maybe your shirt is fitting a little bit tighter than it normally does.
It's normally not the shirt that has the problem with that.
So Jeff
so
dies, and
I
Chris
can-
is out of the game.
Identify good and evil. What just happened?
So I would say that Jeff would continue drinking. As he was walking out of the bar, he would probably stumble, and right before he hits the ground, he goes to brace himself, but he stays floating like a foot above the ground.
Yeah, that seems right.
Because you guys look over and there's a pair of wings sprouting from his back.
Dang, what is the alcohol in the Sangiovese?
I'll have
has this been refined?
You're stupid.
Oh, did he drink Red Bull and it gave him wings?
Oh my god.
Is anyone else seeing those wings on Jeff over there?
I'll
Yeah,
have
like,
what
oh my
he's
God.
drinking.
I would
No
like to look
offense, Korak, but I think his are bigger.
I'd like to look at my own and look at Jeff and look at my own and look at Jeff and just like, like, kind of look at Roar and be like, "This is normal wine."
Wing contest now.
Roll for size.
Jesus.
Okay, Gob dies and Randy's out of the game now.
Christ, but no DM here.
Oh my
Roll
goodness,
for
I've missed
size.
you guys so much. Oh boy. So Jeff has wings. You guys go ahead and roll. I guess roll perception for me. Dang.
Better not be an 11.
It's not an 11.
You like a 3 in these trying times.
Three's better than an 11, though.
Medusa's like the one person who would be like a better expert on this than anyone else. And I guess the little pseudo dragon happens to be looking somewhere else. Frumpkin happens to be looking somewhere else at the time.
Their snake heads are in each other's in other cups or something. I don't know.
Because literally everybody else can identify that these wings have like dragon.
I'm looking at their ceiling. What's going on?
Dragon's looking at the fact that our Dragonborn has a regular sized wine glass, even though he's a Dragonborn, and it's hysterical.
Does he like dip his tongue in like? Let's see.
You said they're like dragon scale wings?
Yeah, they have dragon scales on them. It's very easy to identify.
Are they blue by chance? Or...
That's actually a really good question, Chris.
Say they're like an eggshell white.
Oh, cool.
Off-white.
It's more like bone white, actually.
Oh,
All right, Ace is kicked from the session.
The DM died. God dies. Ace is out of the game. Oh, man.
yeah, Jeff, I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but you got some wings showing there. What's going on?
That's not rude. That seems like a normal thing to suggest. Jeff, why do you have wings?
I don't know. I've never seen this happen.
Is there anything magical about this?
Yeah,
going
I'm
on?
not sure. I'm not sure what happened here. This is freaking weird.
Can you fly? Try them out.
I don't
Let's
know.
go
Let's find
outside.
out.
All right, you and Korak race to the end of the vines and back. Winner gets this gold piece.
1, 2, 3, go.
Roll athletics, I guess.
Oh no.
Would you athletics?
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Jeff
Oh,
handily
wow.
beats Korak at this race currently.
I toss him a gold piece. I'm doing air quotes over here if you can't see.
Illusionary reality.
Throw fake money at Korak?
So a minute later, and his purse will disappear.
Is there anything else you guys want to do while you're here, or like try doing, or?
They actually dragon size, so it just looks comical on him.
I think they are. They're well, Danny, didn't you hear me? They're scaled.
Oh boy.
The session's gone off the rails.
Galley here?
No, I cast fly on everybody.
Where are you taking everyone?
I don't know. We're just going on an adventure.
And we fall to our deaths and we have to roll up level 1 characters.
So yeah, I guess you guys are flying.
So we're drunk flying around a vineyard.
You're... I love that image. As you're flying around this vineyard, make a perception check for me. It doesn't take long to notice that you're actually, like, as you're flying through this vineyard, you're getting closer to the mountain, specifically like towards Black Rock Mountain. You guys can see that silver dragon flying around as well. And there's another shape flying with him, and I think Roran, Gob, and Medusa can all make out that the shape is it's Galley flying around with this dragon. And the dragon's like floating around, occasionally breathing these like rings of fire, and then Galley's like flying through them, and you can hear his voice in the distance like, "Ha yeah, bro, that was awesome." It appears that Galley is having his own little drunken night of flying.
This is the best night we've had since we showed up.
You guys want to race to Galley? Is he like close enough we can fly there, or is he like way up?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
I gotta win.
Jeff tears his ACL and his new wings. I think, Jeff, you get a cramp in your new wings, and you don't. You just can't make it off the mark very quickly. And looks like Medusa pretty handily beats you there.
I picture Korak like tying my shoelaces together, like some shit like that, because he's so pissed off that I beat him the first time.
So yeah, you guys fly to Galley. As you get there, the silver dragon kind of gives Galley a look, and he's like, "Nah, bro, it's cool. These guys are cool, right, bros."
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah.
And then the silver dragon continues flying around, and are you guys getting on Galley or just flying around with him?
I think it'd be safer to get on him before this spell ends.
Oh, okay. I wanted to roll a new character.
Once we get on him, did anyone pay our bill at the winery?
Last one has to go back and pay the bill.
We're heroes.
Whatever.
We're here.
We're heroes.
Dine in flight.
Just put it on the hero.
That's
tab.
such a Korak thing to say. We're heroes.
Didn't Roran just get back into his city and now they're gonna hate him?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you land on Galley, and you guys have like some fun as he flies around with this dragon for a little bit. There's actually a couple other dragons that come out. There's a green dragon that flies in from the east. And you guys are pretty, like, Galley's pretty high up. You can see like all the way out to like Tyakos and the ocean. So you see this dragon as it's coming in. And it definitely looks like it's just flown from over the ocean. And then lands and has as it lands, the silver dragon kind of peels off and goes down to, looks like they're in conference, talking about something. And Galley's like, "Hey, bros, where do you want to go?"
So wait, Galley and the dragon were talking, or
No, there's a green dragon that flies in from the east and lands and talks to the silver dragon.
We just butt into their conversation. I'm kinda curious now.
You just want to see what those dragons are talking about?
Galley, go closer. I'm curious.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so as Galley gets closer,
Just Galley, be discreet.
no problem, bro. Discreet's my middle name. Yeah, so you guys start flying in, and he's doing like the slow circle spiral thing as he kind of lowers his altitude. The dragons look up, and it's a full moon tonight, so it's not like super dark out. And I actually want you guys to make a investigation check as you look at this green dragon.
Are we still drunk? Do I need to do this at disadvantage?
No, I guess. Well, shoot. I guess I really should have just had maybe Korak and Gob do that roll.
I'd be looking at the Dragonborn for dragon information.
Gob, you recognize. You know what? Gob wouldn't. Gob wasn't there for this. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah. You guys. there's this green dragon talking to the silver dragon, and
Yeah, it would have only been like Landis and Korak and.
it would have been Doc, Korak,
Oh shit! Yeah.
Webby, Axel, and Marcus.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, you know what? Roran was.
Oh,
Was they?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna give it to someone because I really want to. Roran, you recognize this green dragon from Cloudhenge. The last time you saw this green dragon, it was tied up in chains as some Farinfear mercenaries were prodding it with these. You know what? Gob was there for that. So Gob would recognize. I am all tied up on this. This is after you guys went to the Cup of Garrisil, right? Garrisil's Cup. And then the next stop was Cloudhenge. So yes, Gob was there for this.
Yeah, I joined him after.
Because you got the little fire stick that they were prodding that you actually still have that.
Staff of Fire? Or
Yeah.
Don't
Thought I
bring
got
it
that.
out.
I got that
wait,
from
was this the dragon that left the trees?
Tabaxi
from-
guy. Gus.
I think it's the dragon they freed from that whole fight they had at the city.
Yeah, it was like breathing poison into the tunnels as you guys were coming out.
That's right.
And you were trying to fight the dragon until you noticed that it was being controlled. This is that same dragon.
Oh, I do remember that now.
And it looks
It
up.
almost killed us.
Yes. This is the dragon, Danny, that they were fighting when you came in late, I believe, that day.
Because Aaron kept on giving me looks. I'm like, what? And then you're like, oh yeah, we're fighting a dragon. I'm looking at everyone like, no. Bullshit. This is a prank.
Yeah, it looks up. It does not appear to recognize you guys. And it continues speaking with the silver dragon. And with the investigation check for Roran and for Gob, I'll say that you catch a couple words. Do either of you speak Draconic?
I do.
I do.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
Ignis does too.
That one.
Amazing. Yeah, so Ignis, you actually, with your 3 investigation, you hear all the wrong words.
I mean, is it a dragon just a really big snake?
So let's see, Roran and Gob, you guys hear a couple words, and since you speak Draconic, it's pretty easy to make out some of like what the context is, and you hear basically like it sounds like this green dragon is talking about a big fight coming, and that it sounds like something big is about to change, and they're looking to like bring different dragon clans together. And that's just like the small snippet that I can really give you, that you can make out and understand. As Gally kind of like gets in closer, he looks up again, and then you hear like, well, they're getting too close now. We'll continue this later. Meet me somewhere. He gives a name. He says a name out loud, but none of you recognize it. It's like, you imagine it's probably like the dragon's name for one of the continents, maybe. Yes, the green dragon picks up and flies away, and then the silver dragon kind of swoops over to Gally and says, like, your nosy friends are nosy. Allow myself to introduce myself. Take care of your nosy friends next time. You shouldn't meddle in dragon business. To which Gally replies, yeah, sure, bro, no problem. And then the silver dragon swoops off and flies to the east.
Can we just follow these dragons?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you no, but I will tell you that that's not the direction I would like you to go.
Ahead, Galley, full speed, follow the dragon.
Roran, you can...
Does Roran perceive?
Man, you can perceive everything.
I perceive everything.
Roran can see Sarah Palin's house from Russia.
This whole simulation.
My goodness.
What do you see with your half-elven eyes?
That was for determining a certain direction the dragon is going in.
Definitely heading towards the continent of Eodenton. So if you were to put a direction on it, it probably somewhere around Toxendar is like the direction he's heading right now.
Okay.
So it's sort of almost a southeastern heading, but more east than south.
Maybe they have good wine there. We should go. Why not?
They have great wine in Toxendar. It's kind of known for the wine, really. Wine and wizards, it's what they do.
Oh, wizards. Never
Wine
mind.
and wizards.
We should go in the opposite direction then.
Did anyone else hear what those dragons were saying? I turned to Roar. They said something about change coming.
I heard something about a change coming, a wrestling match, and
Rack and wrestling. WWE Draco.
asking, I guess for the silver dragon to be ready for what's coming up.
I want to see if dragons
Ooh,
have ever
nice.
come together in our lifetime or in the past. Is it a big deal for dragons to like come together like this?
So in your studies as a wizard, roll history for me. That is a history that you rolled. So there's definitely been times when the dragon clans have come together to meet before, and it's always been in times of great strife for like the world at large. Not like, this country is attacking this country, or even like something as far as like a world war goes. I've always been in times of like a worldwide famine. They met. You remember reading an account of them meeting during the attack of the Plane of Shadow. Some like 1,000 years ago, the dragon clans had met to discuss what could be done to like assist in the pushing back of the Plane of Shadow.
Okay, so this would kind of sober up Gob pretty quickly, and express that to the rest of the group. There's definitely something big going on if these dragons are trying to meet again. Do you think this has to do with our mission in the Jinn and trying to free them, and maybe things are worse than we thought?
Yeah, I will say I talked about that unease that you guys are starting to feel. That definitely begins to come back in spades as you're sort of having this conversation.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel really uneasy. I feel like since we've helped Rivershroud the best we can, maybe it's time to get back on our mission that we were on beforehand.
I would consider that a good idea.
I agree.
What do we need to do then? We have these pieces of a arcane machine. We have some items with Jinn. I think are trapped in them. I'm not sure what the next step is though.
Don't we have to take those back to Edgemire?
The arcane
Ebenhard?
core definitely has to go to, wasn't it Sanagar? Or was that somebody else?
If it's not Sanagar, he'd probably know.
True.
I don't know if you guys see Aaron typing, but the arcane core, the arcane oscillator, and the arcane capacitor all were going to the College of the Magi in Edgemire, to Thardan Trisgor, who's building that machine for the Jinn. More pressing at this moment, I would say, Roran, you feel the weight of the staff of your Dryad mentor, once named. The name begins to come back to you, I think, probably right about now. Tanavast, as his
Remember the past.
essence begins to weigh on you, as well as Korak, that small rock in your pocket. And who had the piece that you guys pulled out of the Black Lake?
I think Roran.
Did Roran take that piece as well?
Yeah, Black Lake was mine.
Okay. You guys begin to feel like the weight of those things as you carry them. And that brings your thoughts back to Sanagar, who took you to a cave nearby, just outside of Rivershroud, near the river, where the River Bearkin had staffed guards and things. To show you his collection of shards, and he told you about his quest to find these shards and how he's been missing 3 of them.
I think we need to go pay a visit to Sanagar first, guys.
That's probably the best idea. Yeah.
Wait, was that Yon T?
Sexy Snake Man.
I have one of his scales. Yeah, let's go.
I don't know about you, but maybe I'd like to sober up first.
No,
Maybe
let's go there
see him in-
drunk. It'll be a
Let's go
story.
see.
Let's go see him in the morning.
Full speed ahead.
Remember the
Let's go back. Let's go back to the bar. Pay off our debts there, or tab. And
Remember the past.
have a nice long rest.
And then see Sanagar first thing in the morning.
Yes, I like that idea.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you guys go back, you pay your tab. The barman didn't even like notice that you guys were gone. He's like, "Oh wow, you guys could have just ran off and the DM probably wouldn't have even remembered that you owed money." And so you guys take a quick nap. Where are you guys? That's actually a really good question. Where are you guys staying? At an inn? Are you staying at? Because both Talara and Reardon would have offered their homes, which are significant.
We'll take the homes.
Yeah, for free. So Roran can continue to store his gold into a giant sock
Yes.
to use as destruction.
Been all night counting my gold pieces.
Yeah.
What did you guys want to discuss with Sanagar tomorrow that we have to sober up for? Just so I know.
He knows about these shards. We have 3 shards with us, right?
We should.
And Sanagar knows a lot about them. Something big is coming, and we shouldn't be sitting on these shards. We should do something with them, probably. Right? Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it'd be painful to sit on.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, not literally.
Too late.
Okay, so yeah, basically you guys are starting to feel this like uneasiness of the world as you're hearing these dragons talk about something the dragons can feel something big coming. I'm just trying to think, like, you know that you have these shards. You know that Sanagar's been also looking for the shards. I believe he showed you his team of people that are currently like petrified in rock. There was like a goblin, an Aarakocra, and a Warforged. I believe the Warforged was not petrified, but just dormant, and a drow, I think. They were all... and a giant elephant, too. Can't forget the elephant. Like, stored away in this cavern, in this cave, where he's been, like, they've been helping him collect things for a whole bunch of time after the initial shattering, some like 1,500 years ago. And when they couldn't work anymore, he decided to, they all, I think they volunteered to be petrified so that they could come back and help later. And that left Sanagar to kind of do the rest of the work on his own for like a long time. It's been a long, long time. And he's found 7 shards. And you guys have found 3 shards, and you know that there's one more shard out there that you need to find in order to unite all of them, Roran, and you know that one is love, the shard of love.
Y'all, we got one more shard to find.
Which ones do we have again?
You have honor, memory, and compassion.
Do we think Trisgor might know where it is, or that's what he's been working on for all those years?
Trisgor, you don't know if Trisgor knows it. Oh, Sanagar. Yes, he might have an idea. If anyone would know maybe like where it was, it would probably be him.
Is everyone kind of like gathered together in our inn tonight? Well, I don't still really know what to do with this information I've been sitting on for a while. Back in Master's Point, I had a little conversation with my father regarding direction, and he told me to trust Trisgor back in the college because he was a close associate of my father's. And I have good reason to think that Garrisil's aim is to destroy the Jinn. And I think if we bring these objects to Triskor, just that is going to happen. And I don't think it's any mystery to any of us that the reason we're having issues with Ichabod is because the Jinn seem very delicious to him. What do you guys think? I've still been trying to debate if it's
Even
worth-
if we destroy them, is he close enough where he just wouldn't care if they were there or not?
he might judge this whole existence worth devouring if they ever lived here.
So there wouldn't be any point in destroying them.
Exactly. That's what I've been kind of sitting on for a while now. Is it even too late to destroy them, or is there something else we could do with them?
You're talking about destroying the Jinn or destroying these items we have?
I think these items we have are Jinn,
Right.
but yeah, it's
My understanding was that the guy at the college, he said the machine could free the Jinn from the object, but you're saying it would probably destroy the Jinn?
I think that's what Triskor's name is.
Oh, interesting.
I'm
So,
not sure if there's really
is our
anything
aim
else we
to
can
help destroy them, or is it to help release the Jinn from the objects?
do. Well, it's debatable that destroying them would help us, but I'm not sure how to debate that in either direction.
I think our goal is to help free them.
Do
I
we
mean,
have
yes.
a Do we
Forgot.
have a way to free them?
That's what I've been kind of worrying about is, do we actually have a way to free them? If our contact Triskor supposedly has a way to free them, but he might actually mean he's going to destroy them.
Maybe he has to destroy them in order to free them. Kind of fucked up, though.
Or possibly he has to free them in order to destroy them. Maybe if we change the machine, maybe we could use the same technology to free them instead of
There's
destroy
just
them.
There's just a switch. We just need to set it to reverse or something.
Mhm. If we assembled
I
upside
feel like we're the
down,
bad guys either way.
If Triskor is a man of my father, he's not poet. Destroying them would destroy them. They wouldn't free them in any sense.
So we should just hang on to them for now.
not go
Why?
to this college.
But what's best to do with them? I mean, what can we do with these rocks? What are they to us? Like,
Have we ever tried talking to them and see what they want?
We've talked to Malachi. Remember?
Maybe we should try to get in contact with him. Since he is one of them. Maybe he has a way of communicating to them.
It's worth a shot. I mean, I know his answer. He'll find a way to free them, not destroy them. Those are his own, brothers and sisters we're talking about, his people. And killing them all just seems like the wrong thing to do. We could try to get in touch with them.
Leave his scry stone down or something for us. Give him a little ring.
Possibly.
I don't remember if he gave us any way of communication.
I think he told Gob that he would get in contact with you guys because he was going away. He had to change locations again, and if I remember correctly, he said that he was going to do some traveling.
maybe Sarah
Right.
here will have some ideas. That we can...
Does anyone have scrying or message or sending whatever it is?
Oh, that's a good point. Let me see.
Maybe we can try reaching out to him.
Oh, that had a message. Let me see.
I have message, but I don't think it has that kind of range. Let me see.
Yeah, I think it'd have to be sending and scryings to see where he is. Oh,
Familiar
awesome.
With you.
I mean, unless he's on a different plane of existence or something.
Ooh, that's a good point. I didn't read that.
5% chance that the message doesn't arrive. That means there's a 95% chance it does. So
That's a really interesting thing to add there. Only 5%.
Korak is familiar, so it should increase our chances of success, I think.
yeah, maybe send a message to Malachi. Then maybe we could talk to Sanagar. And I agree about avoiding the college, though. If it's going to destroy the Jinn, we would not bring these parts back to him.
Yeah, we don't want to be in debt.
Right. Maybe Sanagar will know what to do with them.
I think Garrison's trying to help by destroying the reason why Ichabod would come here, but I don't know. I'm wondering if we do have a way to free them, if that's at this point we need to focus on something like defense as opposed to.
Oh, I see. If they're freed, then Ichabod might come, but if they're destroyed, he might not come.
I think the whole reason Garrisil is a little dramatic is because a lot of his actions have been made to prevent Ichabod from coming, and part of that is getting rid of the Jinn. But at this point, I don't think it really matters. I think he's going to come. So I think if we free the Jinn, we might have a fighting chance. But it's quite a gamble.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they could put in a good word to the dragons for us or something if they're on good terms.
I could be wrong, but it seems to me Ichabod is coming no matter what, and we could use the dragon and the Jinn and every other fighting force to help stop him. Then we need to try to get them free. I think if the Jinn are free, then we might have a chance against Ichabod.
Well, that works. I'll reach out to Malachi tonight, and hopefully he can regroup with us in a reasonable amount of time, and we'll still meet Sanagar tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Medusa would know about the Quellists.
I mean, yeah, that's if not like just from their reputation and having heard things, then certainly from the stories that you've heard from the Liberators here, as like they've heard stories about the Quellists.
I think I know a group of weirdos we might want to try to get in contact with too to help us.
Who are they? What are they? What are they all about?
Oh, they think they saved a city. They just kind of like passed my cave and whatever. They're losers, but they're strong and all that.
Oh, are you talking about those Quellish jerks?
Yeah, those assholes.
Yeah, I guess we'll send them on the front lines. They'll be the bait to bring Ichabod out.
While they decide what to do.
The Quellists will be the trap.
That sounds good.
Okay. So you guys, you wrap up this talk. You all go to your different rooms and or sleeping arrangements. Korak, you're going to send a message to Malachi.
Yeah, I'll let him know. What if I want to type it out or not?
There's my sleeping arrangement, by the way.
But you can take you can take your time.
Softest, warmest beds you can imagine.
Inside
Oh, I love it.
I've been waiting for this spell since our trip through the astral plane.
Are you casting it inside of Reardon's house?
No, I actually go to my room, close the door, then I cast it. So
That's so extra.
then I walk through the portal into my huge mansion and have people feeding me and rubbing my back.
Oh, I love it.
Go to my nice.
For serve a 9-course banquet up to 100 people.
Yeah.
Randy, did you just get this spell?
Yeah, I've been waiting so long. Not today. Last time I leveled up.
But they're all like ghosts or something.
No, they look just like, I don't know, servants would, I guess. But they're all clear and
I want you to describe all 100 servants.
no.
I'm like stressing over this message.
Yeah, it's
Probably look like Casper.
That's amazing. Aaron, you don't need to tell me what's in the message right now, but would you roll a D100 for me, please?
I'm gonna say that I'm stressing over the message though, and then after an hour, I'm like, all right, let me talk to Gob, get some counseling here, and then I see his mansion inside his room, so I'm gonna go there to write my message instead.
well,
While I'm being fed today.
You hear
okay.
from behind Gob's closed door. You hear.
Yeah, it's like walking by SpongeBob's pineapple with a jellyfish are in there.
Just like a rave going on.
Pretty much.
Oh, Korak, welcome. Come in.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh, don't mind me, God. I'm just gonna draw a bath and work on this letter. And as I'm saying, I'm like snapping at some of the screens.
Your room is down the hall. Don't worry.
You guys get a restful night of sleep. Despite feeling a little uneasy, maybe a little bit anxious. Jeff shits himself, I guess. I don't know what he's rolling a 57 on D100. to see if he
I
has a
didn't want to
bad.
be left out of the dice rolling.
Unless it's the wheel of wild magic.
Yeah. Yeah, who has the little laces, by the way? The aglets of wild magic or
I
whatever.
believe Gob?
I think I still have them. Yeah, that's why I have my third eye.
Okay, so you reconvene the next morning. Yes, thank you, Danny. You go, Reardon. You know, you guys talk with him. You have breakfast, whatever. There's a knock at the door, and it is actually Sanagar. Surprise, surprise. He knew that you guys had business with him. And actually, he explains that it was Reardon had overheard you guys using his name, and felt it prudent to try to fetch him. That's why he's here this morning. So he comes in. You guys go sit down wherever is comfortable for you. If you want to go back to Gob's mansion in his room, or if you want to just do it in the sitting room here.
Go in the mansion inside the mansion.
That's my favorite part of this.
Rowan's checking to make sure everything's okay with all of us, and he's like, "Oh, the room I gave you wasn't good enough, huh?"
Perfectly okay room.
I mean, to be fair, if I could decorate my room with more room in it, that would be amazing. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think this spell wasn't intended to be used inside the room of a mansion already.
You never need to pay for an inn ever again.
But God will still make you do it.
The mansion I created looked just like the mansion I was already in.
No, don't you see one of my components is that I need to have a roof over my head already.
Yeah. So it's really useless, but
Oh my.
God likes his warm beds.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys sit down with Sanagar, and he kind of opens up he opens the conversation up with like, well, you know what my goal is here. I'm been tracking the shards for some time. I'm very grateful for the work that you've done to attain the 3 I haven't been able to find up until this point. You can imagine that looking for the last 1,500 years has been a feat. It's not been easy, so forgive me if I come across maybe a little bit bitter at the fact that you've all managed to find 3 in a short span of time when all of my looking yielded nothing. It's not easy to find a piece of God.
I mean, you do have 7, right, Sanagar?
That's correct.
So don't sell yourself short. I mean,
7 over the course of a millennia.
you
Yeah, that's pretty bad. You should get better sources.
correct.
You suck.
Kind of nudge correct. You're doing great, Sanagar. I mean,
Yep.
7's
Yeah,
great
thousands of
for thousands of years.
As Roran would say, sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck. Yeah, so
The point is, we now have 10 together, right? Regardless of who found them.
that's correct. He actually pulls a little pouch out and kind of opens it up, and you guys can see the faint glow of a bunch of different stones in this pouch. And he's like, Roran, if I may see your staff, please.
Why my staff?
That's the piece of honor, is it not?
Yes, it is. So he kind of reluctantly walks over and hands the staff over to Sanagar.
Yeah, so Sanagar begins pulling out these smaller stones that a lot of them look like just regular rocks almost. But as he's pulling them out, you guys can see like an essence coming from all of them. Gob, this would be especially obvious to you with your Eye of the Displacer Beast over your third eye there that's seeing into like the ethereal plane. These stones, like, they are distorting the plane around them in a way that, I mean, it's like, it's very clear what these things are. They're very powerful, very old, but they're like dormant, right? They're twisting and radiating, but they aren't, I'm trying to think of a way to describe this. You've seen some really powerful acts before, and you've gone up against some very powerful beings, and so you know what it looks like when something is like in use rather than when it's idling, and these things look like they're idling, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
And as he pulls these stones out one by one, Roran, your staff, which I believe the top of it looks like a tree, right?
Right.
The limbs of the tree actually like wrap around these stones, and like the wood actually expands a little bit in order to make these branches a little bit bigger, as the tree sort of like takes these stones into itself, and the staff itself begins to take on a glow. And as that happens, the staff itself begins to warp the ethereal plane around it in a way that, Gob, you haven't really like seen up until about this point.
What do you mean by like warp around it? Like everything just
in the
gets...
same way that the stones were doing, the staff is now kind of doing that.
Oh, okay. So the staff has never had any...
No,
effect.
The staff has never acted strange until now.
Okay.
My stick.
So Sanagar puts 7 pieces into the tree on Roran's staff, and then he hands the staff back to Roran.
I take it.
He's like, it would be best if your goal is to unite these pieces to keep them all close together. They want to be together at their core.
So what do we do? What happens when we find the last shard?
Well, that's a good question. First, we have to find it, and I have a good idea of where it might be. At least I have a couple theories. On that note, does anyone have a theory on where it might be? Because and time freezes.
Like everyone around us freezes?
So the entire world sort of seems to lose color, and from behind Sanagar, the door opens, and in walks a well-dressed man wearing a 3-piece suit.
Wait, are we all like... Are I look around, is all of our teammates frozen?
Yeah.
So you
are we?
It's important to note you can move your eyes, but not your heads.
Okay.
Korak, you have free range of movement.
Oh boy.
Promptly move myself in front of everyone.
This is.
The child of...
So as your father Garrisil walks up behind Sanagar, he places his hands on Sanagar's shoulders. And he takes his time walking around. He studies the staff by Roran. Roran, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw as he places his hand on your shoulder. Oh, man. Roran, there's a spike of ice runs up your arm. Down your arm and through your shoulder and into like your rib cage, and it hurts really bad, and you're going to take this many damage.
Oh no.
This many.
You can't kill Roran right after.
This handful of damage.
As this icy hand touches you. Garrisil studies the staff really deeply, and then as he walks around the group, and then he comes to stand in front of you, Korak, and he says, what the hell are you doing?
How am I doing? What are you doing to my friend? Take your hand from him. I can feel that too, you know.
Oh, he's your friend, is he? Okay. And he takes his hand off of Roran. And he's like, do you have any idea how hard I've worked to keep these apart. What are you doing? What exactly is your goal here?
That's the problem with the plan, Father. Is if you keep it to yourself, if you don't share and you kill and you change things in the world without sharing the reason why you're doing it, smart, powerful people are going to do what they can to fix things from their point of view. So why don't you enlighten me? Why do you want to destroy the Jinn?
I'm not even talking about the Jinn here, son. I'm talking about what you're doing with those pieces of an old, dead god. A god that couldn't cut it in this world anymore, so it created us. And I killed them so that I could be here when his brother came around to take this whole place back. And now you're here trying to do what? To do what, Korak? And he leans forward and his eyebrows go up and he looks super annoyed. What are you going to do against Ichabod? You're the one who brought him here in the first place. You're the reason that he's coming here. You're the conduit. You get that, right?
What difference do these pieces make then? What difference if they're spread out across the world? Or they're brought together in one spot?
He rolls his eyes and rubs his hands together, and he's like, oh my. You know what Ichabod does, right? He consumes power, and you are gathering power into one singular place to make it easier for him to just pick it up and snack on it, I guess?
Did you ever commune with Ichabod, Father? Did you ever speak with him?
Me personally, no.
Let me tell you one thing. It doesn't matter how far apart these things are. To him, the distance that we judge as spread out across El Sira is nothing compared to him. Bringing these together, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to stop him. I think about it every day. I know what I've done.
What you've done in the last year or so has been under my will, correct? By my power, you have yours. By my, I used the wrong word, it's not by my power. By my, I've granted you the power.
Will?
That you use. My will gives you power. Correct? Isn't that the deal we had some time ago? When you decided to let go of that thing, you had a change of heart on where you wanted to gain your power from. So you came to me and you took it from me. And now you're here trying to undo all the work I've put in. And he's pacing now. He comes up and kind of bends over Gob, and he chuckles when he sees Gob's third eye. Gob, I want you to make another wisdom saving throw. A wisdom saving throw. Okay, so Gob, you, as he bends over you and looks into your eye, you feel like a physical click, and actually you regain a little bit of movement in your neck and your shoulders. Or at least there's this weird intuitive feeling in you that you have control of that back. I imagine you're probably staying stock still right now, but I'm not going to make that call for you.
No, I stay still.
What do you think is going to happen, Korak, when you reunite these pieces together?
If not us, then who would it be? At some point, these pieces are going to come together, whether by mistake or on purpose. If I am to serve you, if I am to keep this pact with you, I am acting out of both of our best interests, which is I'm trying to stop Ichabod. And I think the best method we have is to use these items, to not hide them or to bury them or destroy them.
How many pieces do you have?
I pull out my fingers. I think we're at 10 or so.
And how many do you need to make Malar whole again?
Just need one more? Actually, I can't remember. I'm asking you as a
there's 12 shards total.
Okay.
He was broken.
Do I know this?
Yeah, you should know that by now.
Okay.
Malar
we need to.
Was broken into 12 pieces. Roran, make another wisdom save for me. Okay, same thing for you, Roran, except you actually have this feeling that you have regained your voice. if you so desire. As Garrisil continues.
Jeff's in your house.
So you need 12 pieces to reunite the shards of Malar to be complete. I'm assuming you're missing love. And what else? I feel like there's something you're not quite seeing here. You keep saying it's in my best interest. But that 12th piece, Korak, is me. I'm the 12th piece of Malar. Do you really think I want to be melded back into that? The whole reason I'm here is because he broke apart. Because he couldn't cut it.
That's right, you're the last of the old ones, huh? I forgot. So what, there can only be you? If your plan is really to benefit us all, I don't see how there could be a selfish part of it. To preserve yourself in the face of everything here.
There has to be someone around to keep order after.
So wait. So it just needs to be redone? That you and whoever else has the right blood can be reborn into whatever is new after the fact? And that we'll just try again?
Well, the hope was to get rid of the Jinn and Ikabar would leave us alone for the rest of eternity as he searched the cosmos for this world again. Because, he's taken 7 stars. Well, that plan went out the window. But if Malar couldn't cut it once, what makes you think that a newly pieced together god would stand up to a power like Ikabar's? It shattered so long ago. It was shattered.
You don't have to look far for that answer. Just look at me. How many lives have I lived? How many times have I amounted to nothing? And how many times have I amounted to something like this? Causing enough trouble to drag a god down. I think Malar deserves a second chance.
What about my second chance, Korak?
The last of your kind. I think at this point I would kind of sit down as I'm thinking. Well, I hadn't really considered you were the last piece, if I'm being honest with you. And selfishly, I have to think what that's going to mean for me if you were to leave. Not that I miss you or anything, but more that how would I be able to fight? How would I be able to help with anything?
Not that it matters. You still have to find the piece of the other piece.
But what would you do then if we destroyed these other 11 pieces? Would he still not be drawn to you? To your influence?
Well, that's the problem. It was going swimmingly for a while. What do you even know about the Shard of Love and where it is, huh? Do you know where your mother's body is? I don't know, Korak, if this has fully hit you yet, but this is the first time that he's admitted it out loud to you that he was the one who killed your mother.
I think Sanagar kind of danced around it a little bit. And I think the knowledge I have of it is from a different character.
The goal is to get rid of all the rest of the power. To make this plane as unappealing as possible. And hope that Ikabar leaves us alone because we are not prepared to fight him. And I want you to make a insight check.
Wait, did Roran guide someone?
I was going to say, if you want to roll that guidance check.
Well, the problem is I have to do a touch.
Oh, that's right. It's not.
Oh, yeah. It's also got a vocal component, which might be a little weird.
I do have a voice.
Yes. There's a genuine note of fear in his voice as he's talking about Ikabar.
Hope is a very, very squishy word to use, Father. You hope he'll ignore us by making this whole reality boring, by making it weak. And you have to understand, making yourself the only one with true power and thinking that's defense and hoping he'll stay away. There's no way I can take that seriously. There's no way I'm going to take that to heart and act upon it. I think in a way I may have thrown a huge wrench into your plans, and you've been taking a long way to admit it. that I instigated his interest, that these pieces are just the asterisks to what he wants. They're not the reason he's coming here. I think he knows about you through me. I think my thoughts have betrayed me. I think you know that too. I think this plan of keeping the pieces apart was your way of hoping that my mischief didn't ruin us all, but I don't know if I believe that anymore.
So instead, our hope is to rely on the child of a god who lost his memory, who bound his own memory away, who gave his child to a war tyrant, to an illusion mage, whose mother was the most powerful necromancer this world has ever seen, to a wayward soldier dragon who barely remembers his home. You want to entrust the fate to this snake-haired woman who's been running from a shadow her whole life. You want to trust it to the drunkard cleric who was exiled from his home. That's what you want to do? To this spiritual successor.
Just wakes up from that.
This spiritual successor to a phasing dragon of the plains. That's who our hope lies in. Not to my plans and my machinations that I've had in motion for since before you were even thought of, Korak.
Like it or not, we're all you have through your own actions. These are the ones you're surrounded by. You saw to that yourself. The one closest to you, who maybe even mirrored your power, you cast her down. For the sake of your plans? Or was it for the sake of us that you were saving? Or was it just fear of your own well-being that you cast everything else down? We're all that's left. These are the people of the world. I've learned that. It's taken me a long, long time to figure that out. But we are your best chance. And we've been doing everything we can every step of the way, albeit with some limited information.
Well, if you're all I have, then I will just continue to rely on my other methods. I'll take my chances there. Good luck finding your mother's body.
I should say there's been some eye twitching every time that's been brought up, but I'm trying not to say anything.
Keeping it together, I like it. That's a Korak that would have not done the same thing 4 years ago. He begins to walk for the door, and he turns back and he's like, just to be sure that my plans don't go any more awry, I'm going to fortify the defenses. And he turns his back to you. And I want you to roll a wisdom... roll an insight check. Korak. Korak and Rorin.
Fortify the defenses of what?
And actually, Gob, why doesn't everybody at this point make a wisdom saving throw? Everyone who's not, succeeded in one. Gob, that includes you currently. Oh no, Ignis!
I'm gonna burn the point of inspiration for that.
He's stuck forever. Frozen in time.
Ugh, not that much better.
Rorin, it's pretty easy to tell that he's turned around and his attention is only on Korak as far as who he's expecting to do anything. Medusa, I think you gain full movement of your body back.
But not my voice.
No, I'd say your voice is good.
How dare you call me a snake woman even though that's accurate?
Wasted.
Do you actually say that?
Oh yeah. I'm drinking this
Oh
early
my
in the
god,
morning. Why not?
He turns around so fast, and the look of surprise on his face, Korak, is worth every moment of agony in this conversation. And he's he turns around and he sees that I don't know, is anyone moving or is it just Medusa's been wow.
Can we or?
Getting ready for fisticuffs. I'm gonna go fight Jeff. This is gonna be good.
Gob, I think that you've got some more movement back at least.
I can at least speak.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just watching still, but I just
Okay.
want to know that.
Everyone but the biggest guy in the room.
Come on, give me an order, Korak. Let me bop your dad on the schnoz. Come on.
I think I would at least, as much as I'm probably smirking from that, I would also kind of I kind of like run my fingers like across my hand, like just kind of like, I know it sounds weird, but feeling myself. And I'm trying to see if anything has changed since our discussion. As I'm kind of smirking at him, but I'm kind of tilting my head, and it's trying to think how I would say it. So you're leaving our pact. So I am still your plan B?
We'll see how well you can do. Because even if he's like still looking at Medusa as he's talking to you though, he's like, even if you can find and retrieve your mother's shard, you still have to get mine. So one way or the other, you have to take me out of the equation.
Just punch him right now. Just punch him right now.
I think I wouldn't hide my expression that having that reminded to me, I look a little, I wouldn't say unsure, but I look like, I honestly do look a little heartbroken to hear that.
Medusa, he also walks up to you and he's like, I didn't call you snake woman, I called you snake haired woman.
Same thing. I gotta bop ya.
Do it. Try it.
Okay, I gotta roll attack then.
Yeah. Yes, roll with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
As you
Gonna
like
click it twice, and I'll take the lower roll of
You
them.
literally one-shot him right now. We'll have the shot.
Ah, darn it! I could have killed Jeff. My snake head gets in the way, and I punch myself.
You,
Go, ah!
you punch your snakes, and it feels like hitting the balls.
My serpents.
My serpents. Oh, man. He says, I'll make sure to double Mephistopheles' efforts. As he's looking at you, Medusa. And that name, I don't know if the name really means anything to you, but it sure sends shivers down your spine.
Like any of that. Ow, my serpents.
Oh, my serpent.
Why would I do that? He was right there.
And he kind of scoffs, and then he turns around and he starts walking towards the door. And then he snaps his finger, and you guys can also...
Garcelle, wait.
He turns around.
Don't go away all sad, but just please go away.
What? What?
Oh boy, I hope there's a meme for that one.
He looks extremely confused at this.
This is how we conquer death.
And he snaps his fingers, and there's a small there's like a shimmer that happens outside of the door. Gob, you recognize this as a form of teleportation, I guess. And he begins to walk towards it.
Race him there. Dominate him.
Okay. You stand up and begin running, and he throws his hand out towards you, palm first, and I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Ugh.
Jesus.
Wow.
You run into what feels like a brick wall, and then it sort of shatters like under your haste, and you continue moving towards Garcelle. Oh my god. What are you running at him or at the portal he's running to? That he's going to?
I guess stay on Def's heel, as it was, just saying, what is that name? What does it mean? Why did it feel bad?
Why do I feel things?
Guys, you all see Medusa running towards Garcelle as he walks towards the door. And
Please shut the door on my face. That'd be funny.
Imagine it's a Terminator run.
He hasn't he flung his hand out at you when you started running, but he didn't turn towards you. And as you get closer, he looks over his shoulder and he looks a little bit worried. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that's my worst one. A dex saving throw?
You know what? I'm sorry. Just roll acrobatics.
I have a 0 in that.
Oh, I thought it would have been better.
The dex saving throw would have been better actually by 4.
Okay, roll the dex saving throw then.
Okay.
I guess are you wait? Well, I guess I should ask. What are you like? What are you? Are you just still running after him, or
I'm chasing down Def.
Okay,
Why not?
Maybe roll another athletic. Roll an athletics. That's really what I want then. Oh
Woo!
my god!
Even better.
Okay,
Gotta catch you, Def.
You reach Garrisil the moment he walks through this portal, and I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw. I need you to roll a D100, and I need you to pray.
Oh, another 29. Jesus.
I'm gonna pray on this.
Okay.
Wait. What is it? Wisdom saving throw and what?
And a D100.
A D100?
Plus 10.
A 1 out of 100?
Oh no.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Time to roll a new character?
You know, I said roll a D100 because I was like, if he rolls a 1, which there's no way he will. Medusa, you chase death. You literally chase death through a portal where you reach this doorway, essentially. And you pass through it, and you hear the sound of a million screams all at once. And had your wisdom save not been as high as it was, it would have driven you mad.
Pretty bad already.
You fall down, and you come down on top of hard stone instead of soft dirt like you know is outside of Riordan's house. The rest of you witness Medusa run after Garrisil and then vanish. As the portal closes, and Medusa, you are in a catacombs of some kind. Dark, damp.
The plan's all coming together.
And I did not think we would be splitting the party tonight.
Guess you guys will have to get in contact with the Quest another way.
As Medusa has followed Garrisil and ended up somewhere.
Gonna
secret.
pop that guy soon.
What? Okay, this is
Bark is like sweating and going over his spells, but nothing is gonna work.
This is going to change the dynamic of how this continues for a little bit.
Oh really?
Yeah. Let's explore a little bit with Medusa before we come back to the rest of you. Are we all cool with that? Just for a minute?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm grabbing people this shit.
This is not anything like I thought was going to happen. The first thing I need to mention, Medusa, is that Garrisil is not here. At least not in the form that he was in. As Medusa, I should also note, as Medusa, for the rest of you, as Medusa left through the doorway and vanished, color came back to the world, and Sanagar immediately continued talking. So we'll get back to that in just a second. Medusa, you land in this like dark, damp, catacombsy like space. The walls are pretty close in. You can hear water dripping. Basically it's a hallway is what you're in right now. But as you stand up, you can go to your left or to your right.
Oh, did I completely lose track of him?
Oh yeah, he's not here in that way that
Ooh.
not in like a physical way.
Would it be dumb if I tried to reach out to my patron to guide me on where I can follow Def and demand answers?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Who's your patron? Because I know you're running a paladin now, right? So
Oh shoot! What was it? Oath of Redemption. Who was it? Was it someone from? Was it like something like Truth or something? Let me have to look in our old notes. I think I said Ren. Is it Rendrag? Am I saying that right?
Rendrag, yeah.
Rendrag, help me out.
Okay, so he's Rendrag as a god, which is something I think at this point you would know. Like, that's one of the shards that they were putting into Roran's staff earlier.
Do I hear it as a distant echo? Am I too far away from him now?
You still draw power, though. And because you knew him when he was still living.
Okay.
And so there's like this weird echo in your head, and that's kind of like any time that you've reached out to like commune or to whatever it might be, you can hear like a faint echo, and you imagine that it comes from that. So you reach out for guidance, and it's pretty easy to tell. Like the answer comes back almost immediately. Go right.
Right, full speed.
And the more that you ask it for guidance to follow death, there's like a familiarity that is just coming from these answers, right? Like, you keep saying, which way do I go? And it's telling you with more and more certainty, turn right, turn left, go straight. As you come up to different things. You pass by a bunch of different crypts. You pass by stairwells going down, stairwells going up. At some point, you end up in what looks like you are no longer in it. You go up a set of stairs, and you're no longer in like these catacombs, but you're actually in what looks like a temple. But like the under portion of a temple, if that makes sense. The stones are laid out really nicely. It looks very good, and there's an air of roll an Arcana check for me.
Boy, this will be good. Oh wow, it was.
Yeah, the aura of war fills this. War and conflict fills these halls.
Oh, please tell me it's not the same one.
And as you pass through a couple more corners, are you walking or running, or like what are you doing?
I never stopped running.
Okay.
And as soon as I got the direction of right, I just continuing on.
Okay, so you are sprinting through these hallways. You turn right, turn left, go straight. Eventually you come across a group of men wearing scarlet red robes. And they turn around at the sound of your footsteps, and one of them yells in surprise. And roll an athletics check for me.
Oh boy.
You bowl through them like they're bowling pins, knocking them over. They all
Excuse me, out of the way, pardon me.
Both in surprise and in frustration, as one of them was holding a bowl of ramen noodles or something like that, and they begin shouting after
Jeff
you,
likes
and one of them
ramen?
is shouting an alarm. And it's pretty easy to tell as you ran into them. The red robes that they were wearing were emblazoned with the symbol of the Shrike. It's the same thing,
isn't it?
You deduce that you were likely in the inside of the underbelly of the Temple of the Shrike. And as these answers keep coming towards you, turn right, turn left, go straight, etc., you find yourself turning the corner into a very large and vaulted.
The fuck is the Shrike actually Garrisil? What?
No, no, but you enter this like vaulted ceiling chamber that looks like at one point maybe it was used for some kind of worship ceremony or something like that. There's no windows or anything like that, but there are some ornate paintings all over. There's a row of benches on either side. There's rows of benches on either side, and there's like a middle walkway as you bolt down to the center. And roll another Arcana check, and then roll an investigation check as you get up to this.
Arcana and investigation. Podium. Jesus.
Dang.
Investigation?
Yeah. Medusa's turning into the.
Well, I only had a 3 with this, so this makes sense.
Yeah. So you come running up to this altar. As you're running up to it, you get the sense that you sense that Ichabod, Garrisil, like his essence was there just a moment ago, and then was surprised to see you still following, and then fled from this area because immediately the voice in your head telling you where to go gets confused and says, I don't know anymore, like not here.
I'm looking around wildly for clues.
And
Footprint.
with your investigation check, it takes you a little bit, but you find that this there's a pattern, there's like a mosaic on this altar / podium type thing. I hesitate to call it an altar after I was called out of my altar fetish. There's a mosaic pattern on here, and in the very center is a kind of unobtrusive looking stone.
Oh, like if certain Warforged were to be forged there, kind of stone.
No.
Okay,
Really good guess, but no.
Okay.
This
follows death, encounters all the bad fiends.
As your eyes rake over this particular stone and you actually take notice of it, the voice in your head that was initially telling you, how to follow Garrisil has now stopped, and you almost feel go as you lay eyes on that, and all you know is that it's important.
It's an important stone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it big enough too large to carry?
No, it's like
I pocket the important stone.
So
this will come in handy.
You can't just grab it. It's laid in on this mosaic.
Oh, can I?
It's like a part of this altar thing.
There's no way to pry it out?
Not without probably chipping away at and or breaking the altar.
But it wouldn't damage the stone, would it?
No, you probably wouldn't.
I'd like to try to remove the stone from the altar.
Okay. Roll an athletics check for me as you're doing this. Okay. All right. You begin chipping away at the stone. Let's go back and visit with everybody else for a minute as Medusa's doing this. So Medusa disappears. And Xanagar immediately just keeps talking. I forget what he was saying right at the time stop, but he basically continues on with I have some theories on where the shard of love might be, and where did Medusa go? And he rubs his eyes. He's like, am I awake? He pinches himself. Where did Medusa go? Why is Korak standing?
Xanagar, did you see anything, or were you just talking and now I'm seeing that Medusa's gone?
I was talking and then now you're standing. Medusa's gone. And Roran looks like he's seen a ghost. What
Close
happened?
enough.
Well, the good news is we know where one of the pieces is.
Where's
Was
that?
that your dad, Korak? Was that Garrisil?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking not ecstatic, but I'm rubbing my forehead. I think Garrisil just gave us a little pep talk, Xanagar, and more or less admitted to being one of the pieces. Which, did you know that? I had no idea. You told me about him a long time ago, but did you know that? Was that part of one of your theories?
I've always known Garrisil was one of the 12 pieces of Malar. That's how the legend is. That Malar was shattered into 12 pieces. His pieces rained down upon this planet, and those pieces gained sentience based on their own will. And then 1,500 years ago, Garrisil killed the other 11.
That's the shattering you spoke of before, right?
Yes, I was there for that.
So no anger. But
3,000.
were you planning to have us assault Garrisil at some point in your plan?
I had hoped that Garrisil might see reason in uniting Malar back together, especially with you being his son and being on a quest to do such a thing. I'd hoped to gain his favor, although I realize that might have been foolish. My goal to get you to assault him? No, I was prepared to do that myself.
Damn.
I think, and at this point I'm talking to everyone, I guess, not just Sanagar. I don't think anything has changed. I think we have some new information, some of it a little less great than others, but I think at this point I would ask you, Asa, can I still summon my maul?
Good question.
It's gonna change what I'm about to say.
Yeah. No, you cannot.
Okay. I would hold up my hand, and then I would get this huge look of worry and just stop talking. And I'd start muttering to myself about raising the defenses, and then just kind of like sulking. I was gonna say that if my pact with him was still good, and even though he's sane, he doesn't want us to do this, that there is some faith he still has in us, that we could in some way be serving him. But if I don't have my pact anymore, I am of no use to any of you.
Now, I want to point out to you, Aaron, you will still be able to use any magic that Korak has, because of your innate godhood. Like you have that as a demigod, you can use magic. You will not be able to use anything pact related.
Oh, am I going to make a third pact in one campaign? I'm not
complaining,
but I was not imagining that. Okay. Yeah. I think I still look very confused and very upset, but it's clearly at myself. As I'm still trying to get things straight in my head, as I kind of just stop talking.
So even if we find the shard of love, how do we ever get Garcil to join back in? I mean, if we kill him, will that even do it, or will that destroy his essence too?
Well, no, it won't destroy his essence. I mean, and Sanagar at this point kind of goes into a pretty detailed explanation of what he experienced in the years after the shattering, about there being like literal bodies of the old gods buried, inside of. He talks about his time in Dustfall, which is now in the heart of the Skald's Forest, when the goddess of growth fell in. I think it was in Farsha, growth, nature, travel, enrichment. Fell into, like, crashed through the Temple of the 12 Shards and crashed into the middle of the city, where the forest began to spring up around her body. And you listen to him tell this story about people like trying to touch the body of this god and like immediately being just vaporized, and or dying in other ways. And so he knew that as a mortal he could not touch their essence like that, and had to come up with ways if he was going to ever piece these things back together, as he came up with this plan over the next 50 or 100 years or whatever it was, began looking for the other bodies. He came up with a way, using different artificers over time, and coming up with a system to extract the essence from the bodies. And he actually pulls out what essentially looks like a big syringe, except that the needle is like almost as big as his forearm, and about as long. He's like, if we can stab this into Garcil, we could potentially just extract the essence from him. Which is why I said I was never intending for anyone to fight him. I had hoped to get the drop on him after some time of moving with great, celestial beings in tow. I've learned to step lightly.
I'm afraid gathering all these pieces has kind of put your plan into fast forward, Sanagar. I think that's why he came here, was gathering these pieces clearly upset him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he's the one who killed the rest of them, it serves to reason that he might not want them coming back. Clearly wanted power for himself.
What happens when we take his essence, or kill him to take his essence?
I imagine it'll be volatile for a time before it eventually coalesces into a stone like you've seen.
If we ignite the stones, that'll kill him, though, won't it? As it'll bring back the old god.
Yes, uniting the shards back into Malar would essentially, all of the old gods as I knew them would be gone, turned rather back into one being. They're all part of Malar anyway, but the fact that they would lose any individuality they once had, I imagine. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I would imagine.
Is there a chance that Garrisil's consciousness would persist in Malar?
Malar may retain some. You're asking me some questions that are out of my league. I've been around a long time, and I've devoted a lot to study. But you're asking me to postulate on what might happen when we unite a god that literally has not been alive for longer than time exists.
Well, gathering these certainly seems to upset him. We could use that to our advantage. If we could find the other one, and I definitely look a little upset when I say that. If we could find the other one and bring all of them to him, we might have an upper hand in some regard. Or at the very least, we'd have his attention.
That's true. We just need to find the final piece, the 11th piece.
Do you have any theories on that, Sam?
I do. I have a theory. My theory is that if the way I understand that Garrisil worked after the shattering was that he dipped into the well of the power of the Jinn. This is before he struck them away. At least I'm assuming it was him that did that. I believe he dipped into their power to ascend the domain wardens that the others had set up as a way of restoring the balance. See, the only one who knew what had happened was Garrisil. None of the wardens had any idea of anything that happened. None that I had spoken to, and I imagine that that's remained a secret for some time. It seems obvious, that it was him, considering he's the only one who lived. But celestial beings like that don't tend to think with the same rationality that we do, and they certainly don't hold grudges in the same way that we do. So I don't think that many of them complained when he ascended them into godhood. So the gods that you have now, he looks at Roran. He's like, such as Pleth, Huron, Agrashot, Besh, Yerma, Rensler, Rabajak, Sim, Boskel, Handelhan, Korg. They all came from the same basket of eggs as far as being the first souls to be raised up as domain wardens. So were once, many, many aeons ago, they were living creatures.
Interesting.
The domain of war has always been the strongest, given that I believe that the oldest goddess Gridafok of war was the first one to be struck down because she would probably have put up the hardest fight. When he ascended Korg into take over her spot, it serves to reason that he might have tasked Korg with protecting at least, well, I don't mean to speak out of turn, Korak, but the most precious thing to him, his greatest love in his own life, your mother.
I think he charged Korg's followers and Korg himself with protecting the body of her.
To keep her safe, yeah, I do. That's been my theory.
So you think Korg is privy to what Garrisil did all those years ago?
I don't know if Korg knows. No. Because Garrisil could have spun it as, well, now that you're here and she's gone, please keep what's left of her safe. But there's a chance that Korg knows. I don't know. Korg is a single-minded individual with only one real objective at hand, and as you know, that currently is to get Ichabod here as quickly as possible. So if you're saying that Garrisil was attempting to keep Ichabod from coming, it's possible that they're at odds to some degree.
To hide the body of an old god, you would have to have a rather large temple, wouldn't you?
I imagine so, yes.
Where could that be?
I mean, I would hope it's something like the temple and not the mountain range we've all seen. I don't know how we can move mountains, but a temple is something we might be able to get into.
Roran, where did you say that you got that staff from?
This staff is the remains of my dryad mentor out in the woods.
How far out in the woods?
Less than a day's walk from here, but also he guided me toward the Shrike's temple those many years ago.
Honor and love were always close. It makes sense to me that Honor might have, even after his death, tried to be close to her. So that's my second piece of evidence. I don't want to ask you to storm the Shrike's temple, but I can't do that myself without help. If this is your goal right now, to unite these shards to get them together, then our goals align.
We also have Medusa to track. Does anyone have any ideas? If she followed Garrisil, any guess where she could have ended up, if that's even on the same plane?
So you said that Garrisil showed up in the middle of me talking. What exactly did he show up to talk? He said he was mad about the shards. What exactly were you talking about? Are you trying to see where Medusa is?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, I think you would scry, and this is about the time that you scry to see. Let's say that in her haste of standing up, she left behind, I don't know, like a water skin or something.
I punched the snake. Maybe there's blood.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Tail.
Hey, there we go. Okay, there is a body part. Okay, so, this is so weird though. Like, it's not necessarily that Medusa's failing a save, right? Like, well, Medusa, why don't you just make a wisdom saving throw and we'll go from there. Yeah, okay. So let's just pretend that you failed the save, but it's not going to like hurt you because if there's a -10, so you technically rolled a 6, which would be definitely fail, but it's not gonna hurt you. So, but really, all that's happening is that
Would I know that Roran would have scrying since he's a cleric? So would I really try to stop it?
Yeah, I think if you were to feel this like coming over you, you would.
I'm like,
be
oh, just a
familiar.
little curious. Who's that?
Yeah, you'd be able to like tell. It wouldn't take you very long to like tell who the spell was being cast by, and know that your teammates were reaching out to like find you. And this comes at about the time that you're bowling over those 3 Shrike priests. So Roran, you scry and like witness Medusa to body slam.
Pardon me. Zoom.
Get a strike with her body just crashing
Seems right.
into people.
Absolute unit.
So, yeah, that's you can tell pretty handily that she's somewhere with a bunch of Shrike people who didn't look super worried until they were literally getting ran over by Medusa.
Well, I have good news, guys. We might be able to kill several birds with one stone.
Did he see the ramen bowl?
Yes.
Like, oh.
It appears that my best guess is Medusa is somewhere in the Shrike temple.
I think I would stand up immediately and kind of like get super close to Sanagar as I'm thinking out loud. Now, why would Garrisil go to the Shrike's temple? If not to check in on the defenses that he's laid out, if he has been helping himself by allying with Korg? Does that make sense?
Yes, that tracks. If he's
he's
worried
thinking
that
of
you're doing these things, then he's probably gone to, yeah, exactly like you said, check on his defenses, make sure everything's in order.
That's what he said. You all heard that, right? That wasn't just me. That
Did he say raised his defenses or checking them?
he said, I will
Either
raise
way.
the defenses.
Yeah.
Increase, double, something like that.
He seemed kind of afraid of Ichabod coming. And doesn't the Shrike cultist and Org, aren't they trying to bring Ichabod to come? I mean, they might be allying for other reasons, but it does seem a little odd to me. But
It's possible that he didn't think that Korg's plan to get the Shrike here get Ichabod here to fight the Shrike would really ever come to fruition. And if the Shrike, God, if Ichabod really is on his way, then Garcelle may believe that the Shrike is one of the only best defenses.
That's a lot of enemies to process.
We're talking about the Shrike that those Quellis defended the city against not that long ago.
I heard it wasn't that big, though.
Yeah, I was just saying. Maybe Ichabod's not such a big deal.
I love when you guys talk shit on the
I don't think the turn economy was really in his favor.
The auction economy.
Now, if it was the false Hydra, I mean, whew.
Those don't exist. Those are just fairy tales.
Mm.
It sounds like we're headed to the Shrike Temple. I don't think they'll just let us in through the front door, though.
Rarin, do you have any ideas on how we might be able to get in there?
Crashing with Galley. Crashing with Galley.
Point of order, though, wasn't it halfway destroyed anyways? With Rinian's sacrifice?
that was just the temple that was built there in Rivershroud.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just to be clear on that part.
I have never been inside, know anything about the defenses. All I have just seen is particular points where the armies on the inside, on the other side of the wall, have been pouring out from that place. But I have no idea. We'll have to make some sort of clandestine observations before, if it's just going to be the 5 of us.
Senegar, do you think they would still have the body? Or is she already in a state like the rest of the pieces we have? Something that can be held by one of us?
Given if she's really truly there, then her proximity both to Honor's Shard and to the new vessel of war, I don't have a lot of experience as I only have 7 pieces. And
so if we see Garcelle again too, we'll need your syringe thing to extract his essence too, right? So we'll need to take that with us.
I'm willing to come to accompany you on Galley, at least to lend my support where I can. At this point, I think Reardon comes in and he's like, "Roran, you can't be serious. You're talking about going to the Shrike's temple again? Do you remember? Oh, you're gonna go again. Oh my. God help us. Are you sure that's what you want to do, son?"
What choice do we have? We could keep we can keep hopping around the world trying to find potential theories of where this goddess might live. We could keep hopping around the world trying to find Garcelle. But we're not. It's the closest thing. The best chance we get is to try to get in there and get what we came for, to finish off this whole thing.
You always were an idealist, son.
I was raised by the best.
Oh. Well, as truly as much as I don't want to see you go, especially not there, I certainly hope that you'll come back someday, son.
I will come back.
It won't be the same here without your brother. As much as I wasn't really part of his life, now that he's gone, it feels different somehow.
I know, Dad. It's just we got to get used to these changes, and you still have Talara. God's willing, I'll come back when we're through with this.
You won't take any unnecessary risks.
Of course not. You know me.
All right. Well, then I wish you the best.
Do you also have food?
Yes. You can just raid the kitchen. It's fine.
I'm gonna cry.
And Roran goes over for a tender hug, just so he doesn't hurt his back.
Yeah, your dad, who's been in this kind of like more weakened, sickly state since you've seen him, gives you a surprisingly like strong, firm hug. And as you come out, he holds you at arm's length and just kind of looks you up and down, and he's like,
You've grown up. I know you were grown before you left, but man, I'm just so proud of you, Roran.
and he looks at the rest of you, and he's like,
You chose well to make this your family as well.
That means a
Job
lot.
hugs him. Just slightly longer than appropriate. I meant that in like a touching way, not like a creepy way.
yeah.
Just point that out.
Gob dies him. It's no longer part of the
Yeah, roll a new character with me.
Yeah.
Woo!
You leave your father's house as he stands in the doorway and waves to you as you kind of walk down the dirt path towards town. In town, you meet up with Karased, Talara, and her children, her husband. You get a moment with all of them to kind of say goodbye. Talara pulls you into a ridiculously strong hug that you didn't know was possible for an elven woman of half-elven woman of her size anyway. She doesn't say anything to you when you finally say goodbye. She just kind of shakes her head and smiles, and it's in that way that you know she knows that you'll be back. She believes that with every fiber of her being.
I tell her also, you're welcome to join us. We could use some help.
I can't leave my children, Roran. That's crazy talk. Adventuring's not for adventuring.
I know. I know. I'm just half kidding.
Kara said, "It's like, it's like you need an extra hand. That's what you're telling me. That's what I'm hearing. You got that beautiful big talking boat. That thing's awesome."
If you want to go on the boat, Kara said, you can join us on the boat.
I would love to. And he kind of rubs the back of his head. He's like, "Well, they've got me pegged for city council, or whatever the fantasy equivalent of city council is. As much
Fantasy
as
mayor.
I'm
fantasy
really
mayor.
jealous. I'm jealous I can't be on Fantasy City Council.
As much as I'd love to come along, I think it's best if I stay here and make sure the city remains strong. If you're really going to go poke the Shrike, then maybe it's best I make sure the defenses are up here. I'll send you what help I can, though. I promise that.
Great. I know this place is in good hands.
Sure, I can't talk you into staying, cousin.
I would, but I feel like this is something I must do. And I will be back when it's all over.
Well, I look forward to that. We'll have another drink. On me this time.
Good, because I spent too much gold already.
He looks at the sock of gold that you're carrying with you. He kind of raises an eyebrow.
I strike him with it.
To the rest of you, he goes, be good. And bring him back in one piece, yeah?
The hesitancy is killing me.
It's the eve of your departure, and it feels like the whole town has turned out to see you guys. Galley singing loudly. He's making children both laugh with mirth and cry out in terror in equal portions. Guster with heart is doing some last-minute trading with some other merchants, and it looks like he's made a killing in the last few weeks. Roran, Rivershroud is safe. You and your family here have made it so. And you all load up on Galley, and you wave your last goodbyes, and you fly off into the morning sun, or excuse me, the setting sun. It's the eve, right? West, you head west. Towards a dark shadow on the land, but at least you have the light at your back and power at your fingertips. We'll call that good there at 9 o'clock. You guys are really very close to some big things here, so I'm very excited. Thank you all for your time tonight.
Thank you, Asa. That was
Thank you.
nice and touching.
That was an excellent homecoming.
And do you even have to be God making us cry this time?
Yeah, that was supposed to be my sad family episode. But what the hell, Roran? What the hell? I get outrun by Jeff because now he has wings, and then the sad boy award goes to Roran instead of Korak.
What?
It's not fair.
What does that look like?